Cameron had just come off Terminator 2, so anything he touched looked like gold.
He brought in Catherine Bigelow to direct.
Yeah, one of the few women steering big-budget action in the early 90s.
The studio wanted Charlie Sheen for Utah. Bigelow pushed for Keanu Reeves, fresh off the Bill and Ted movies. Patrick Swayze got cast as Bodhi thanks to the glow of Ghost.
Which makes his Zen surfer criminal a wild left turn from pottery wheel romance.
Indeed.
Suddenly, bro's out here spouting philosophy while robbing banks.
This is the Marxists at the Movies podcast.
Marxists at the movies, bright and raw, breaking through the reels to rewrite the law. Workers of the world in every frame, changing the credits, rewriting the name.
Welcome to Marxists at the Movies. This week, we're diving straight out of a plane without a parachute and hoping the stunt team catches us. I'm Edward Michael Francis.
And I'm also Edward Michael Francis. Two hosts, one body, too many personalities to name. But I'm the one who would absolutely listen to Keanu say any line, anytime.
Hey, does he say, whoa, in this one?
Now that you mention it, yes. He totally says it after he learns to surf and takes on his first big wave.
Whoa.
Okay, you said it, not me.
Guilty. Today's episode is Point Break from 1991, The Emperor's New Wetsuit. Yes, that's our actual title, and yes, it's as ridiculous as the premise of this movie.
You can find the full article on Patreon and our website, but stick around because this episode's got bank robberies, Nixon masks, and Keanu,
Swoon.
our patron saint of bewildered himbos.
And be sure to stick around for our huge, gigantic Myron-related announcement when we do our regular plug.
Trust us, you won't want to miss it.
Also, we proudly use generative AI in many aspects of this production.
Proudly.
A tool for democratizing media and keeping us out of the corporate chokehold.
As a neurodivergent cult survivor, it helps us do the work of 10 people. And of course, Myron Rosander Francis, our orange and white tabby commiserate, is here too, plotting a snack shelf takeover from their cat bed, their tail twitching like a pendulum of Marxist inevitability.
Now, who would you choose to have a bromance with? Patrick Swayze or Myron?
Ooh, tough one. But I think we all know who would be the less dainty choice.
And we've got the scratches to prove it.
We are talking about Myron, right?
Sure. Cue the sting. Let's talk about spoilers.
Talk to me.
Spoiler warnings are like firing your sidearm into a busy LA neighborhood.
Wah, wah.
Tacky, rude, and just ill-advised.
They are capitalist horse manure created to perpetuate artificial scarcity.
If you're not down with that, this isn't your space. Thanks for the attention.
Okay, let's get this over with.
Uh-oh.
Point Break is a movie so confused about itself, it nearly circles back into meaning. On the surface, it's an action flick about surfing bank robbers and the FBI agent chasing them.
Underneath, it's something far stranger.
Which is?
A film that mistakes incoherence for profundity and cliché for philosophy. And somehow, people still call it a classic.
Compare this to, say, Showgirls, which commits fully to its insane logic and tone.
Indeed.
It may be batshit, but it's honest about it.
Preach.
The actors knew exactly what movie they're in and lean in so hard the whole thing loops back around to greatness.
Showgirls respects its audience, however chaotic. Point Break puts rocks in the audience's pockets and cuts their toe line.
Roger Ebert gave this unhappy disaster 3 stars.
3.
3.
Roger.
For a movie where the FBI's idea of undercover work is to park across the street from the suspect's house.
Point Break isn't just dumb in the usual way movies are dumb.
No, it flatters power, sells rebellion, and packages nonsense as gospel.
Oof.
Which means the movie itself is almost beside the point.
The real trick was never the film, it was the marketing. Posters, trailers, word of mouth, all sold audiences on the idea of Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze in extreme sports action.
That's where this review is headed. Not just a takedown of a script, although don't worry, we're going there, but also a Marxist autopsy of what we feel is one of Hollywood's greatest swindles.
Now, please understand, we're just a couple of mild-mannered theys trying to run a media empire. We certainly don't go looking for polemic analysis, but in this case,
it was pretty much unavoidable.
Right.
This movie does a lot of gross things badly. So we're here to ask the question,
how did Point Break become a beloved popcorn classic?
This movie is 122 minutes we'll never get back.
Ouch.
And yes, we just quoted Michael J. Nelson's book podcast. If you want to arrest us, too late. We're already paddling out to sea to meet our maker.
Seriously, we're not in a great place right now. This movie actively pissed us off, and we defend Manos, the Hands of Fate. Actually, we will right now. That film has fewer continuity gaffes than this one.
Zoinks. But enough venom. We've got a plot to get to.
All right.
Enter Johnny Utah, Keanu Reeves, fresh out of Quantico, who gets partnered with veteran FBI agent Angelo Pappas, Gary Busey.
Wait, they cast milk-colored Gary Busey as a Greek guy named Pappas?
Oh my Satan, that's nothing.
So they're investigating a string of bank robberies by the ex-presidents, a gang wearing masks of former presidents who've never been caught. Pappas thinks they're surfers because of tan lines in security footage.
Yeesh.
So the FBI sends Utah to learn surfing and infiltrate the beach scene.
Utah meets Tyler, Lori Petty, who becomes his surf instructor after he stalks her with federal resources, lies about his dead parents, and shows up at her job. All done under the love ballad of the movie.
Creeper romance at its finest. Through Tyler, Utah meets Bodhi, Patrick Swayze, a Zen surfer philosopher leading a crew of adrenaline junkies. Utah suspects they're the ex-presidents, but has no evidence beyond one of them pulling his pants down mid-wave.
Apparently, he's the ass whisperer. After botching a stakeout so badly, he nearly shoots a neighbor for starting their lawnmower. Utah gets pulled deeper into Bodhi's crew. That includes his first skydive because, of course, the 90s loved extreme stuff.
Don't you mean extreme?
I want you to take a good, long look at yourself. Right now.
Maybe later. When the gang hits another bank, Utah finally realizes they're the robbers. He blows his cover by running toward them maskless, screaming, FBI! Like it's a pep rally.
The gang kidnaps Tyler to force Utah's cooperation in their last job.
Sure.
The heist goes wrong because the script demands it.
Bodhi kills a cop, Pappas gets shot, and Utah has to choose between arresting his criminal boyfriend or letting him escape.
In the end, Utah tracks Bodhi to Australia, where he's chasing impossible waves.
We're leaving very little out here, by the way.
Right. But Utah lets him paddle into certain death instead of arresting him, then tosses his badge into the ocean.
Because apparently that's how FBI resignations work. Point Break started as a spec script by W. Peter Iliff, originally titled Johnny Utah.
Okay.
It bounced around for years before landing at Fox, where James Cameron picked it up.
Cameron had just come off Terminator 2, so anything he touched looked like gold.
He brought in Catherine Bigelow to direct.
Yeah, one of the few women steering big-budget action in the early 90s.
The studio wanted Charlie Sheen for Utah. Bigelow pushed for Keanu Reeves, fresh off the Bill and Ted movies. Patrick Swayze got cast as Bodhi thanks to the glow of Ghost.
Which makes his Zen surfer criminal a wild left turn from pottery wheel romance.
Indeed.
Suddenly, bro's out here spouting philosophy while robbing banks.
Production was a mess. Real surfing locations in California and Hawaii turned into logistical nightmares. The skydiving sequences chewed up months of planning.
Reeves actually learned to surf, though body doubles were everywhere. And that famous foot chase?
Shot in chunks across multiple neighborhoods, stitched together by a second unit. The film wrapped in 1991 on a $24 million budget. Not huge for action.
No.
Marketing faced the challenge of selling an expensive B-movie with A-list stars.
So they leaned hard into the extreme fad and the Reeves-Swayze bromance. Top Gun with surfboards, basically.
Critics were divided, but audiences bought the marketing promise, and it grossed $83.5 million worldwide.
Home video sealed its cult status, along with a garbage remake in 2015. Somehow, a movie where the FBI's SOP is use your real name became shorthand for cool schlock.
The real miracle isn't surfing or skydiving. It's how Hollywood convinced people this incoherent mess was entertainment.
And when James Cameron's name hit the credits, we should have known. Maximum stylistic impact, minimum narrative responsibility, 100% pure adrenaline wrapped around a void. Let's talk about the propaganda dimension.
Yes.
From the very first minute, we're told police work is data-driven and scientific.
Right.
That was ominous in 1991, and it's downright Orwellian now.
The FBI calls criminals bad guys with the sincerity of a Saturday morning cartoon.
Gross.
It's bootlicking so shameless it makes G.I. Joe look like the Battle of Algiers.
But it runs deeper than hero worship.
Oh, yes.
This script was seemingly written by someone who knows nothing about real police work.
Totally.
I've learned more from Law and Order reruns.
The FBI office here is just group therapy with screaming. The angry boss storms in every 20 minutes, yells about nothing, then vanishes until the script needs him again.
Everyone hates everyone for no reason. Utah and Pappas?
Pappas.
Yes. Utah and Pappas.
Sweetie,
let's keep going. They bicker like an old married couple despite being partners for roughly 5 minutes.
Agents even step on each other's lines during briefings. I literally thought, oh, that's the take they're using? Okay.
And the dehumanization of criminals is brutal.
Seriously.
Gary Busey calls suspects, quote, no better than paper targets.
Wow.
Reducing human beings to objects designed for shooting.
The ex-presidents are cartoon villains. They rob banks while doing presidential impressions.
Original.
Like SNL sketches nobody asked for.
And yet, the film still frames Johnny Utah as our hero.
Right.
He's the world's worst FBI agent and still gets to be sympathetic.
He uses his real name undercover. He brings suspects to his own apartment.
Smooth.
He even fires his gun into the sky after losing Swayze, raining bullets on innocent LA neighborhoods.
He ruins every operation, gets his partner shot, and tanks a DEA bust. This isn't inexperience, it's incompetence.
Pretty much.
Are they like the cops that get, like, a few weeks of training? My sister had to train longer to cut hair than those folks supposedly protecting our streets.
The message is simple. Even catastrophically bad cops are good guys at heart.
Naturally.
That's the few bad apples theory turned into pop cinema.
The most telling moment? Utah's boss explodes, not because he endangered lives, but because he skipped paperwork. That's the film's idea of accountability.
We'll be right back.
Each flickers with a revolutionary beam.
Welcome back. If Bodhi is the false prophet, then the screenplay is the monster that devoured everything else. Point Break is wall-to-wall exposition dumps, trite one-liners, and blatant contempt for its only female character.
This movie doesn't just fail the Bechdel test, it ties its hands behind its back and beats it with a nightstick.
The real love story isn't Johnny and Tyler. It's Johnny and Bodhi.
Exactly.
Football tackles shot like foreplay, skydiving full of longing stares, and dialogue straight out of fanfic.
When Bodhi growls, "You want me so bad it's like acid in your mouth," the gay beast has already sunk its gay teeth in. The bromance swallows the whole narrative. Sorry, ladies.
Meanwhile, Lori Petty is left gnawed down to the bone. She's the only woman in Los Angeles keeping her clothes on and still gets a voyeuristic strip scene while Johnny spies with binoculars.
Even if her love for Johnny isn't hers to voice, Bodhi delivers it for her because the script devours her agency too.
And the dialogue itself chews scenery like it's starving. Every 5 minutes, we stop for someone explaining what we've literally been watching.
Then Utah IDs the ex-presidents because one of them moons him mid-wave. I'm not a lawyer, so maybe that's admissible in court as cheek print evidence?
Continuity is eaten alive. Utah is dropped at his car, then suddenly is in Gary Busey's passenger seat.
Come on.
He says the FBI pays him to surf, then later claims he learned it on his own time.
The script can't keep track of its own lies for 20 minutes. 2 meatball subs would have lasted longer.
Most events happen only because the plot demands it. The gang avoids bank vaults for 30 heists, then suddenly raids one in the finale just to spark a shootout.
This isn't bad writing. It's a story so ravenous it eats coherence, continuity, and character until only macho posturing remains.
Waves of exposition crashing onto an empty beach.
Yeah.
That's Point Break script in a nutshell.
Here's where it gets interesting from a Marxist perspective.
All right.
Point Break succeeds not despite its incoherence,
But
because of it.
Huh.
Under late capitalism, quality is irrelevant. Only the marketing promise
The
matters.
film was sold as Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze in extreme sports action.
Quite right.
The actual content, a fascist fever dream about beautiful criminals and incompetent cops, was secondary to that pitch.
You weren't really buying a story, you were buying the concept of watching these actors do these stunts.
Indeed.
That's the whole commodity.
Even the word of mouth has outpaced the reality. For decades, Point Break has been sold as solid popcorn fun by retro media and the public alike.
But it isn't.
Nope.
We walked away feeling cheated, fooled, and flim-flammed.
This is peak commodity fetishism. The exchange value, box office, cultural cachet, home video sales, floats free of its use value, which is basically zero.
It's capitalism's perfect product.
Uh-huh.
Something that succeeds precisely because it has no connection to human need or pleasure.
Patrick Swayze's Bodhi is framed as radical, but his politics are pure libertarian nihilism. He mocks workers in little metal coffins while funding his surfing life through armed robbery.
That's not revolution. That's surf bro fascism with highlights.
Tell it.
The film wants us to see him as anti-establishment, but he's really the perfect capitalist subject.
He mistakes personal liberation for political action.
Precisely.
Dropping out of the system is not the same as changing it.
He's like Tyler Durden, only with worse dialogue and more Zubas.
And then there's the way Swayze moves. He doesn't run, he stag leaps. He doesn't fight, he sautés.
Every tackle looks like it was choreographed for American Ballet Theater. You can practically hear him counting 5, 6, 7, 8 before each punch.
It's unintentionally hilarious, but it shows how the film frames him. not as a messy outlaw, but as a balletic prophet of adrenaline.
To his credit, though, Swayze really jumped. He did over 50 skydives during production, even sneaking them in after the studio banned him for insurance reasons.
That commitment is genuinely badass.
Totally.
Way more authentic than anything the script ever gave Bodhi to say. And honestly, Patrick Swayze was a badass in real life.
Truth.
He brought stunning grace and poise to a field that rarely represents men on a wide scale, and he did so while being a mainstream heartthrob on top of it.
No lies.
That's not an easy act to pull off, especially in the 1980s.
Rest in power, Patrick. We didn't love you in this film, but you have our respect. Some of the stunt work is impressive, sure. Catherine Bigelow is a feminist director pioneer who knows how to stage an action sequence.
Yes.
But even here, the movie cheats constantly.
Keanu skydives cut between body doubles and close-ups that look like they were shot at a trampoline park with an oscillating fan. The finale mixes real aerial footage with inserts so disconnected, they might as well be from different films.
The surfing scenes are worse. ADR so bad, it looks and sounds like they recorded the dialogue in somebody's bathroom.
The underwater shots are framed like the second unit was asleep. Whoever directed them deserves to be written out in a bank robbery gone wrong.
And the lighting continuity? Ridiculous. They call it 6 a.m, but the sun is clearly setting over the Pacific.
Oops.
California 101, the sun sets in the west.
This isn't filmmaking, it's industrial assembly.
Yep.
Shoot some stunts, shoot some close-ups, then let the editors stitch it together later.
The result doesn't feel like cinema. It feels like a very expensive commercial for itself.
And I'll just ask the question, how did critics fall for this? Roger Ebert praised the film's kinetic energy and pure action. But energy toward what end? An action in service of what story?
Exactly. The movie has the structure of a Chantix stream and the moral backbone of a police training video on cults. Even the greats get a mulligan sometimes.
I think critics got seduced by the same fetishism that fooled audiences. They reviewed the idea of Point Break, not the thing itself.
The idea being a high-concept action film with stars you recognize. What we actually got was incoherent propaganda sold as counterculture.
All right, before we dive back into this mess of sick waves and Reagan masks, let's talk about how you can actually support the work we're doing here. But first, a huge announcement.
Folks, we know how much you love Myron, our feline coworker, fellow stray, and emotional support chaos goblin.
And if you don't yet, if you love an adorable orange and white tabby with a soft spot for Mao, then Myron's your mascot.
So in response to market demand, we're going a little bit capitalist.
That's right, folks. We're offering Myron merch.
Where can we place our pre-orders?
There are two ways. Go directly to cinemarchmedia.com/Myron merch, or just go to cinemarchmedia.com and click on the menu option for Myron merch.
I'm definitely checking that out today.
That's cinemarchmedia.com/MYRONMERCH. So, tell us more about other ways to support us.
Cinemarch Media is independent, it's leftist, and it's powered entirely by us and by you. No corporate sponsors, no ads for mattresses or meal kits, just community support.
That's why we set up patreon.com/Cinemarch Media. It keeps the lights on, keeps the content flowing, and keeps us from having to rob banks as Gerald Ford.
$6 a month gets you early access to articles and news. $10 gets you early audio, bonus content, and the joy of fueling revolutionary media.
And both tiers come with surprise Myron cameos. Our orange and white comrade has a habit of crashing the recording anyway.
2 content streams plus 1 adorable kitty for the price of 1? What a deal!
Quite. Also, visit our website at cinemarchmedia.com where you can find both our podcasts, Marxists at the Movies and The Marching Revolution.
You can also find us on TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.
2 shows, 1 mission, Marxists at the Movies and The Marching Revolution.
Visit today. Point Break earns our worst rating to date. Not because it's boring. Boredom at least suggests functional mediocrity.
This movie goes further. It makes us actively hate it with its contempt for intelligence and its endless exposition.
There are only so many times we can hear, "You're surfing!" before our eyes roll back completely.
Quite.
By the 3rd time, we were gone.
The film is hostile to storytelling, logic, and human intelligence, yet it still convinced a generation that it was good, bad entertainment.
That's the real con job. Point Break isn't so bad it's good. It's so bad it's nothing.
A perfectly empty commodity that thrives because late capitalism teaches us to mistake marketing promises for actual experiences.
In a just world, Johnny Utah would be on the FBI's most wanted list, not their softball team.
But in our world, his movie made $83 million worldwide and spawned a wave of imitators.
Which makes me wonder about movies like Armageddon. We've never seen it, but we know enough to know that it was basically the same thing. A bunch of big-name stars, lots of stunts, naval shots, and, of course, the whitest folks always coming out on top.
Funny how that works. Certainly Armageddon must reflect the same type of commodity fetishism seen here.
Do I smell a Patreon bonus in the works?
There's only one way to know for sure. Visit patreon.com/cinemarchmedia and find out.
So, what's the hammer and sickle rating?
This really is unprecedented.
We give Point Break
0 out of 5.
There it is, folks. A new low.
It's a harsh, but very well-deserved rating.
Agreed.
This movie is irredeemable. And remember, sometimes the revolution isn't about overthrowing the system.
Right.
Sometimes it's about refusing to pretend the emperor's wetsuit isn't there.
100% pure agony.
Okie dokie. What did we learn today?
We learned that girls don't matter at all, not even when they send their love through Patrick Swayze.
We learned that Johnny Utah can fire his gun into the air and still somehow get a seat at the FBI cafeteria.
We learned that quitting the FBI is like flicking a cigarette into the ocean. Also, littering Keanu, someone's gonna have to clean that badge up.
And we learned that capitalism can sell us anything, even incoherence, if it slaps Keanu and Swayze's faces on the poster.
On the serious side, we learned how easily marketing creates the illusion of value.
Bingo.
Point Break proves exchange value can float free of use value and still be hailed as a classic.
If you want more, support us at patreon.com/cinemarchmedia and cinemarchmedia.com. Check out the merch.
And again, you can find us on TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your audio.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode, Point Break from 1991, The Emperor's New Wetsuit.
Do you disagree with our take? Let us know in the comments.
This is Marxists at the Movies.
Bye.
Scene opens, white lights dim down low.
Thank you for listening to the Marxists at the Movies podcast.
Cinema whispers
Don't
where
forget to like
truth
and
can
comment.
grow. From shadows deep and screens ignite, the proletariat comes alive tonight. Marxists at the movies, bright and raw, breaking through the reels to rewrite the law. Workers of the changing the credits, rewriting the name. Popcorn power and the working class dream. Each flickers with a revolutionary beam. The heroes rise from the factory floor, challenging the scripts and demanding more. Behind the velvet curtains lies the fight. Directors of destiny taking the light. The dialogue chimes with justice in stride. The proletarian walks where stars collide. Marxists at the movies, bright and raw, breaking through the reels to rewrite the law. Workers of the world in every frame, changing the credits, rewriting the name. Blockbusters topple in an epic
Copyright 2025, Cinemarch Media.